think it's quite exciting towards the end of the year. We're going to have cloud-to-cloud integrations. So some of the big partners, the integration partners, will be able to just dovetail straight into the Jabra Plus cloud, which helps them to add services, which helps with the adoption of the devices. So so many places we want to go and we want to move so quickly, but you've got to be thorough to do this right in its own way.
Welcome back to the Teams Insider podcast. This week we have Olly Henderson, who is VP of Product at Jabra. Second time Olly's been on the pod. Really interesting conversation about the Jabra portfolio, working with the MDEP team and how MDEP has been received by customers, new devices coming into the Jabra portfolio, and a little bit of what was talked about at InfoComm as well. Thanks to Olly for taking the time to jump on the pod. Really interesting conversation. Appreciate his perspective on everything that's going on. Many thanks to Jabra as well for all their support of everything we're doing at Empowering Cloud. On with the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Exciting one. We're talking just after InfoComm. This is actually a pre-record, but we're going to talk, it's going to be going out after InfoComm. So I want to catch up with Olly and get the latest on what's going on with him and the Jabra space. Olly, it's been a while since we've spoken. How are things?
Things are very good. Great to see you again, mate. It's a rarity. I'm sat in my home office to talk to you.
I know, I can't believe you're at home. I feel like whenever I talk to you, you're on the move.
No, I'm happy about that. Although, as just discussed with you, I am hopping on a flight this evening to back over to the UK for some customer stuff. So
nice.
Keeps me busy.
So how are things? Last time we spoke, I think we were just on the cusp of the VVS 40 announcement. Obviously, the 50's been in play for a while now. I'm really interested to get your thoughts on like where things are for you, and also MDEP, first device in market. Now other devices are coming through. How's that been being kind of first on the MDEP bandwagon?
So great question, mate. It's been a really exciting time. Panacast 40 VBS is in its customer EAP, external acceptance testing program that we've got going. So that's coming to market this summer as planned. Everything's looking nice and stable. Customers are very excited about it and very excited on the fact that it's an MDEP device, right? We're seeing good success and traction with Panacast 50 VBS, certainly increasing month on month. And a lot of that is down to the MDEP architecture that it relies on. You know, last time we talked about this talk track that some of the world's largest companies have had, where they've been very eager to get onto an Android path, but because of different InfoSec requirements, because everyone's running their own platform, their internal InfoSec teams have just struggled with that a little bit. MDEP seems to have taken away that fear somewhat. So that's played right into our hands, and it's very surprising the amount of companies that are looking to chop and change from an MTRW environment, and they're seeing this as the natural segue into MTRA.
Yeah, it's interesting for you because you get to see both sides of the fence with the Windows and now the Android, and it's interesting as well. The 40, like a really aggressive price point, I think, for what you get in the box there. Are you seeing that play through? Microsoft have always said, like, if we can get more aggressive price, people are going to do lots more rooms.
Yeah, I don't think you can ignore the value proposition there. Something that we were quite stringent about was to get it at a very aggressive price point. I think the goal at launch was at the $14.99 for the bar stand only SKU in the US. Unfortunately, that's gone up a little bit because of our friend.
I was going to ask you because there's been some pretty massive world events that have hit everybody.
Much. A few details here and there, but no, we've still managed to keep that nice and tight, and that'll be coming out $16.99 for the bar only SKU, a little over 2,000 with a controller in there. So that's super positive, right? And it's compelling. That's what customers are saying to us. That price point, allowing to do runs of up to 6 people at that sort of dollar amount with the inbuilt Android compute MDEP platform. Let's not forget that a lot of the guys are more than happy to deploy this as a BYOD device, even in rooms where they're not quite sure at this moment in time that they want to add a license to it. It gives them that flexibility. And I'm telling you now, as sure as night follows day, when they get it into those rooms, then they will add that license on top. And it's super easy to do. No rewiring, no changing of the room topology, just dropping the license onto the bar and activating Teams rooms for Android or Zoom rooms, depending on whatever your flavor is.
That's great to have that flexibility. And that's another thing that, again, Microsoft have said is like, if you've got the option, go with something certified with ready to go, and then make your choice based on usage. And with the Microsoft in the BYOD mode, you get those usage reports. So you can start to say, okay, these are the high usage rooms that warrant that extra experience and extra license.
No, exactly right. And we see that as a large path to success. Lots of customers, especially in the focus on huddle rooms, using BYOD. But now we can start to offer them very competitively value-driven solutions, which allow them to have BYOD mode, which can then become full MTRA or MTRW, depending on what derivative that you go for. So that is something that's certainly working well. I think the latest requests that we're getting in from customers are those that are looking to move to the Android path. Great, you've got MDEP. Great, you've got 40 in the small room. Fantastic, 50 into the medium room. We've got some nice new toys coming out. We've got our own scheduling panel coming out towards the end of the year, which again is going to be on MDEP. And then the conversation naturally goes to larger rooms on Android. How do we get to those rooms of 20 people? And, that's where we are. I can share with our NDA customers that we're certainly looking at that and have got some great solutions coming to market for that over the course of the next 12 months, where we can actually really step into the large room space, look after 20 people comfortably on an Android platform. And whilst there are some out there doing that nicely, I don't think there's too many doing that very well, especially not on the MDEP platform as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you've kind of gone for the middle with the VBS 50, then gone to the like smaller option, super cost effective, and now you're rounding out the portfolio or heading in that direction to the larger room, so you can go full Android in all those different scenarios.
Well, it's got to be done. You've got to follow for all sorts of reasons. You've got to follow the money, right? We're all businesses, so you've got to go for the volumes, and the volume certainly is in that smaller space. Yeah. But that's also the pain point for the customers as well, right? That's also like the vast majority of their rooms, the focus and huddle rooms. So we're addressing that as well as the medium room, and then we're looking at a two-stepped approach to start to get into the larger spaces. How do we get audio further into the room without giving too much away? So that'll be happening. And then how do we get video further into the room as well?
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff. Not ready to talk about publicly yet, where it's interesting where Android is getting more and more capable and working with third parties and partners and doing some clever stuff. We've seen it as well with other OEMs, like where you can start to really, traditionally it was like, oh, you wanted to go bigger, more complex, that was a default Windows, whereas now it's getting more compelling to have both options on the table.
It is. And, look, at the end of the day, we've just got to be mindful of what the customer would like. And there's going to be lots of MTRW environments that are happy on MTRW. We've got another big event happening this year, haven't we, where Windows 10 systems are being deprecated. Yes, they'll be supported for a while longer, but it's front and center, right? Yeah. You've had the big AOSP changeover. So these things are starting to gather momentum. I think Microsoft have done a cracking job as well of improving the Android experience. You can remotely, as I found out to my cost, Tom, you can remotely change the wallpaper on your Android controller and splash screen in the background through Teams, because one of my engineers lovingly changed it to my least favorite football club, or my arch enemy Sunderland. But yeah, you can do clever things like that, which is starting to show that Android is maturing and it's taking it to a place that is usable. You've got PTZ camera controls now in Teams rooms for Android. It's getting there nicely.
Yeah, the intelligent speaker as well, which again, you were first to do that on the Windows bar. Now being able to do it on any Android device. So even the BBS 40, you get the intelligent speaker through virtue of Microsoft doing it on the cloud processing side, which is exciting.
100%. So I just see it, continuing to gather momentum. We've seen the guys at Infocom, so it's always good to spend some time with the MDEP team. As you know, with Microsoft, everyone's split into so many teams that you've got Ilya's guys and the MDEP guys and everyone. But I think they're starting to be a lot more cohesive as well, and work and starting to knock over some obstacles together to move things forward.
Yeah, they seem really proactive. We just had Chris on the podcast. It hasn't gone out yet, but it goes out before this one. And yeah, he was saying about how it really is a relationship journey with the chipset vendors, obviously with the open source project, and with the OEMs and device manufacturers all working together to kind of get the requirements and make sure because they're ultimately there to serve you guys in this context to be the OS which you build on top of.
Yeah, without any shadow of a doubt. And they're proving to be very good partners as well. It's a two-way street of learning. It's still relatively fresh on that journey.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like we've been working on it for years, and we kind of have. But it's in terms of market residents, it's just starting to reach good maturity now. But loads of interest, and we're really happy with the move that we made.
Awesome. And talk to me about the panel. Is that a case of, again, filling out the portfolio conversation of customers wanting that option and having it all from one OEM?
Absolutely. So with Panacast 40 VBS, we were able to bring a new controller, new Android controller for the room. So this time it's got multiple uses. So the new controller will obviously be coming to market with Panacast 40 VBS. It can control the Panacast 50 VBS as well. And it can also have another functionality of being the scheduler outside the room, where we've got multiple different mounting options. And you can turn that into a Teams panel or a Zoom panel, whatever your flavor of choice is. And we're just going to start off slow and steady to begin with just those two options. Then we'll start to build out. The plan is, there's lots of good scheduling and workplace facilities management platforms out there. So we'll start to build that out as time comes and as customers bring those requests to us. But I think it's Jimmy Vaughan's always evangelized very well the importance of the scheduling panel outside the room, and it's a segue into potentially getting technology into those rooms as well.
Yeah, it's a nice option with the BYOD shared device license as well. You can have the panel and have the device in BYOD mode, and then you're still ready if you later want to step up to MTR. You've got the panel to use that use case as well.
I think that's exactly right, and it gives us some nice opportunity as well to start to give some good innovation on the BYOD side. As we look at future-facing BYOD modes that we're going to do on our devices, or maybe even future-facing BYOD devices. How do you get that BYOD device interfacing nicely with the scheduling panel outside the room, so that if people aren't using the room, it gets released back into the pool? All of the above. It gives nice angles to be able to bring some value to customers and how they want to digest their video. And we're still seeing lots and lots of BYOD especially in those focus and huddle rooms as well.
Yeah. And when I buy a bar for Jabra in BYOD mode, is there a pricing or licensing difference? Like how would I move from one to the other if I said I'm doing 1,000 BYODs and actually I'm going to pick 200 next 6 months to jump up to MTR mode?
Yeah. No, there's no price difference. I mean, there's different SKUs that we have. That's mainly partner driven from the platform. Microsoft like a SKU and Zoom likes a SKU. So it gives our operations people, just in case they didn't have enough to do.
Yeah. We always want more SKUs and more options, don't we?
So one could technically just purchase vanilla SKUs that arrive in the BYOD, then go through the factory reset and turn those into Teams rooms, should you want to. But yeah, that's part of the strategy, definitely, and part of this, like, why the value price point was so important, and being able to deliver full MDEP functionality, full Android functionality onto a bar that could be, in its first instance, deployed as a BYOD bar at a price point that wasn't too petrifying to people. Yeah.
And how is it out there? Like it's a really competitive space. And again, off the back of Invacom, there's been more announcements and a couple more MDEP partners with kit in market. You've obviously got a lot of experience in this space. Like, what's it feel like out there?
It feels like MDEP's certainly getting a lot more traction, a lot more buy-in, definitely from the customers. I think the more people that we get on the MDEP platform, the better, truth be told. I think it makes things a little more scalable. So people can choose their method of deployment or their OEM of deployment if they're going with MDEP, and that keeps us honest as well.
Yeah.
Right. So, we have to innovate. We have to improve our Android offering. We have to get things better. And I think, I welcome with open arms anyone that's moving onto the MDEP platform. I think we've got some good audio people coming on there, some good peripheral screen sharing people coming on there. So there's an interesting mix of people. Obviously, Yealink on the video side. And I noticed they've got a new bar that's also coming to MDEP as well. So I think the more partners that come on board with it, the greater the acceptance will be and the faster the adoption will be.
Nice. And how much have you seen of the management platform, as in, your management platform or others being part of that conversation around devices?
Yeah, I mean, management is key, right? You've got let's look at a couple of different situations. So in a pure Teams or Zoom setting, you've obviously got Pro Management Portal with better licensing, should you want to call it that. And also with ZDM, you've got great management through Zoom. But really, it's still at a point where how do you get down into that granular control of the devices, right? So I think from a lot of the organizations that I speak to, people kind of live day to day in their Pro Management Portal, and they see their alerts and they see there might be a problem. And then when they actually want to change device level settings, they hop off onto the OEM management platform place. And Jabra Plus is growing really nicely. It's been a long journey. We've had management platforms for years with the headsets and obviously with Panacast 50 originally, but we realized we needed to create a whole new management platform with Jabra Plus. They've got Panacast 50, Panacast 50 VBS, Panacast 40 VBS will be on it. It's starting to look and feel a lot more grown up. You can have regions of the world. You can split it into different geographies. You've got different access rights. We've got SSO. All of these things take time to bring to maturity and bring on. But we're really building an enterprise level platform now. I think it's quite exciting. Towards the end of the year, we're going to have cloud to cloud integrations. So some of the big partners, the integration partners, will be able to just dovetail straight into the Jabra Plus cloud, which helps them to add services, which helps with the adoption of the devices. So so many places we want to go and we want to move so quickly, but you've got to be thorough to do this right in its own way. But yeah, we just hear time and time again, management is key, and I mentioned to you earlier, I'm heading back to the UK for a big customer meeting with RFI, and I know there's going to be a good hour of that around management platforms of the devices. What does the platform device management do versus the manufacturer device management?
It's particularly interesting in the BYOD scenario or the mix scenario. I've got some BYOD and I've got some native, because you say, like, in the BYOD mode, I think that's the biggest difference of this gen of BYOD. It's not the BYOD of old. Actually having remote access to patch and upgrade and manage and set things, and maybe other capabilities in the future, it gives a whole different level of power to BYOD versus a webcam on a cable kind of thing.
Mate, I think it's a great call out, and it's almost become table stakes. I think that we've seen some incredibly successful BYOD devices in the market over the last 10 years that weren't really manageable. You couldn't really see what was going on in the rooms. You couldn't see where they were deployed. Organizations just aren't going to stand for that anymore.
Yeah, I'm hearing that for the first time in the last couple of years from enterprises, and it's not even the collab team, it's the InfoSec team. They're like, we can't have devices knocking around that may or may not be patched, that who even knows what they are anymore. So actually it's been the InfoSec team pushing for managed device even in the BYOD setting.
Absolutely. And I think the InfoSec team and the facilities teams, life is expensive. We all feel it from our own pockets when we get paid, all the way through to giant corporates earning billions of dollars. The world costs a lot of money now, and space costs a lot of money, and they need to know what's going on in those spaces, what devices are in the spaces, how many people are using those rooms. This is table stakes at this point, and this is definitely as we think of devices and how they come together, these are the bare minimums we've got to put in place moving forward.
And what are you seeing from customers in terms of as much as you can share with the VBS 40? Because you do like a really thorough in-house process. Then I know you see to kind of customers, and it's often I've heard from kind of Josh and Mike and others, it's not always customers that are like gimme customers. Actually, you want to give it to some of those customers that really push the devices. What does that process look like before you're happy to launch?
So early adopter programs are fun. Feedback's a gift, but it's not necessarily a gift that you want all the time, you know. And you want it. You definitely want some. It's all very nice when someone's like, "Oh, this is great. The video quality was great. It was super easy to set up out the box." And it's like, okay, fantastic.
It's not actually that useful, though, is it? Because it's like, well, yeah, we think it's great. You think it's great. Like, tell me what. Tell me what you want to tell me. You much kind of prefer the feedback from that thorny old AV guy that's been in a business for years and was like, I couldn't do this. This was a struggle. This was difficult. I think your TX audio is phenomenal. I think your RX is okay. You need to do some work on it. I noticed some, noise in the picture, and certainly towards the end of the day when the ambient light conditions from outside lighting got lower. That's the golden feedback. That's the almost as quantitative as we could give to our engineers to go back and say, this is what they've said. You might not like it, but let's have another look at this piece as well. So those programs, ours is running for 8 weeks on this one as in an external one. Internally, it's been months. But yeah, we're trying to put a good time box. Obviously, Microsoft do their TAP program as well. So, it allows us to get lots of data points where we can aggregate how the device is looking. And we've already, I was doing our PI prioritization planning this morning with R&D and engineering, and we already know what the first value packs or firmware upgrades are going to be for the device where we can improve it even more. So, yeah, they're positive programs. You've got a bit of a track record to uphold there with if you look at the devices, you brought a lot to them over the life cycle. So
yeah,
you feel a bit of pressure there to keep bringing new capability through?
No pressure, mate. Pressure makes diamonds and all of that. No, obviously there's a lot of pressure to bring. Look, Panacast 50 VBS is an outstanding device. It definitely didn't come to market at a level we would have liked, and that's stalled on the software side. And that's part of our growth. It was our first Android bar. An incredible amount of work went into it. And there was some low-hanging fruit that we missed. Now, if you think of how we're now making Android devices, we're on AVA, which is our Android video device architecture, right? The hard work that we put in P50 over the last 2 years instantly migrates onto P40 VBS. We've got the Qualcomm chipset manufacturer. This is where life becomes easier. I'm sure 1,000 engineers at Jabra would kick me for saying that.
Easier, not easy, just easy.
Easier. But that's the benefit and the beauty of how we're thinking about things. So this is why we align so closely with Qualcomm. This is why we invest in good quality processes that are very future-facing for forward Android revisions, so that we can port features and functionality from P50 onto P40 VBS. We can make something for P40 VBS which goes backwards onto P50 VBS. It becomes a lot more fun as the portfolio grows. And we're also looking to do quite a lot of work on our embedded software side. We've got Jabra OS, which is our own operating system layer that resides on top of the MDEP platform. That's our secret sauce. That's our differentiation. That's what we do. And, we'll be looking to round that out as a more complete software offering, if that makes sense. So we often talk about value packs. Does anyone have a clue what a value pack is?
I mean, with all due respect, I do spend a lot of my time when I'm talking about your stuff being like value pack / firmware update. Like just
there we are.
I think the marketing intent is good, right? Because you do bring actual new features. But yeah, I do find myself saying firmware update.
And I think that's where we're trying to get to, mate. We hear those pain points. I see the confusion when I'm with customers at Infocom. I'm like, value pack, whatever, and they're just blank. So yeah, these are the small lessons learning. This is where we're growing on the journey, and it's really exciting. It'd be great to get to a point where in Jabra OS version 4 point whatever, these are the new features come out, and it rolls off the tongue. It's a more elegant story.
Yeah.
I know
it's
we've
interesting
got
to
some
hear
people.
that differentiation on top of MDEP as well, because that was a good conversation I had with Chris on the MDEP team. Was that there's a kind of a talk in the industry of, well, does MDEP commoditize the functionality across all the devices? But actually, you've got option as an OEM then to add your own secret sauce and do your clever stuff with audio, your clever stuff with video, whatever it may be.
100%. And look, MDEP's the base layer, and then everyone, Yealink will have their own stuff on top of it. We will have our own stuff, and whoever else comes to the party will have theirs. And I think that allows for that innovation. It allows for us to continue to take some strides forward on just listening to customers and what do they actually want. But to that point, and this is a whole other episode we could do. What do customers want? I feel that this jazz about multiple streams and everyone having Hollywood squares and this, that, and the other is kind of fading a little bit, and people just expect excellence. Great audio, great video. If it's got intuitive things such as people's names in a room, it has to work. But then there's learning about GDPR and EMEA. Not everyone can enable those features.
In Europe, that whole conversation about voice enrollment, face enrollment, recognition is tougher over here.
And there's 1,001 great ideas that will just never get off the ground because it's getting a bit close to personal data and really asking people to sign up. So that's a great talk track and something we could spend hours on. 101 great ideas that probably could just never make it because you're really getting into the realms of personal data.
Yeah, but I think you're right on the excellence and the fundamentals and the audio and the video quality. And like, actually, I definitely, if I had to generalize, talking to the AV side of the house, it's quality and stability first before any other clever feature.
Every day of the week.
I think IT get a bit more excited about features because we're kind of that world, and it's striking a balance because you do want to get some of that cleverness in there, but never at the expense of stability or quality.
No, and we've been very guilty of in our early days of having some outstanding features and innovation that were just very hard to turn on at scale or deploy at scale. It's easy when you're an engineer looking at a great concept and you're like, oh, you have to do this, this, and this to turn this on. But times that by 1,000, times that by several time zones. How do you turn that feature on? How do you gain value from it? And it's amazing. You've got to be careful because we've had certain features that haven't come to market where we've shown them to customers and they've loved the feature. But then when you've taken them through the onboarding steps, they're like, it's just not going to fly. It's not worth it. And then a feature can suddenly become a detractor. So there's a fine balancing act with a lot of these things.
Interesting.
But
awesome.
I think
I appreciate you being so transparent with us and going under the covers. It's really interesting to hear the kind of how the decisions are made and what the priorities are.
Yeah, no, it's not everything is as straightforward as it seems, but that's kind of the good positive challenge of what we do. We class ourselves as strong innovators, and we will continue to make great strides forward. But yeah, maybe there's reasons why things that seem patently obvious don't sometimes happen.
Interesting. Awesome. Well, Ollie, thanks for taking the time. Excited about the 40 not being far out and the new panel.
Yeah, we're really excited to bring it to you guys.
Yeah, I know there's some exciting stuff we're going to talk about in the future as well, so we'll hold on that for the next one. But appreciate you taking time, mate.
Wonderful. Appreciate it, Tom. Thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Cheers.